Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have finally watched the Spider-Man Brand New Day movie. I have a lot of thoughts about the all characters, action, drama and storyline of this movie. So let's review this movie together. First of all, I really like the direction they took with the Peter Parker in this movie. After everything that happened in No Way Home, Peter is basically starting his life from zero. Nobody remembers him anymore, not MJ, not Ned, and now he is living alone in New York and pretty much giving all of his time to being Spider-Man. And I think this was what this movie feel different. Peter feels much more mature here. He's still a Spider-Man. He still has those funny moments, but at the same time, you can clearly see that he's lonely. And honestly, that emotional side of the movie worked really well for me. There are moments where Peter is around people he used to be extremely close to, but for them, he's just another random person now. Imagine remembering everything you went through with someone, but they don't remember a single thing about you. That's really, really sad. I especially like the way they show Peter's relationship with MJ and Ned because you can tell he still cares about them so much. At the same time, he knows that bringing himself back into their lives could possibly put them in danger again. So he's stuck between wanting his old life back and trying to protect them too. And Tom Holland did a good job. I would say good job showing that without making every emotional moment feel too dramatic. Another thing I really enjoyed was New York City in the background. This movie really feels like a Spider-Man movie set in New York. You see him moving through the city, helping people, dealing with the criminals, swinging through the buildings as usual, and it brings back that proper friendly neighborhood Spider-Man feeling once again. And there's something interesting about Peter being surrounded by thousands and thousands of people in New York but still feeling completely alone. That part stood out to me. Now, let's talk about the visuals because I think this is definitely one of those movies that benefits from watching it on a big screen. The New York shots really good, especially whenever Spider-Man was swinging throughout the city. That was the shots I will watch thousand times. I really like those spider shots where you can actually see the buildings, streets, heights, and Spider-Man moving through everything. Those scenes gives you that proper Spider-Man feel. Those shots gives you proper Spider-Man feeling. The visuals also looked really polished throughout the action scenes. There are obviously a lot of heavy moments, but for the most part, I felt like the effects worked really, really well and don't distract me from what was happening. And some of the shots just looked really, really cool. There were definitely a few moments where I was thinking, okay, this is why you watch Spider-Man in a theater. Now, coming to the action part, I actually enjoyed it a lot. One thing I liked is that Spider Man's fights don't all feel exactly the same. You get the web swinging, hand to hand fighting, Spider Man using his surroundings, jumping between the buildings, and reacting really quickly to everything happening around him. And that's something I always enjoyed about the Spider Man action. He doesn't just stand there and punch someone. He's continuously moving. He's using his webs, walls, buildings, whatever is around him, and it makes the fights much more fun to watch. Also, in the movie, there are also some other moments where the action feels more intense and a little happier compared to some of the earlier Spider Man movies. And because Peter is more experienced now, you can actually feel that in the way he fights. He feels more confident as Spider Man's. Also, at the same time, the movie still gives him moments where he gets overwhelmed, so the fights don't feel like Spider Man can easily defeat everyone. That made the action more exciting for me. So, moreover, I also liked the sound during the action scenes. When you are watching it in a theater and you have the Spider-Man swinging, things crashing, fights happening, music coming in the same time, it adds much more to experience. I think sound is the best part to experience about these movies. So visually and action wise, I definitely think this movie is worth seeing on the big screen. So now let's go into other characters, new characters. So in the new characters we have Punisher, and I really enjoyed his scene with the Spider-Man. Their personalities are obviously combined completely different. Their personalities are obviously completely different. Like you all know, Spider-Man is always trying to see people do things the right way, while Punisher is basically like, yeah, I'm not doing all that. So whenever they are together, I really enjoyed. You get this really interesting clash between the two of them. Serious scenes too, but that are also the moments that actually pretty funny because of how different they are. And I also think Punisher also fits really well with the darker, more street level version of New York. Then we also have Bruce Banner as Hulk in the movie. I wasn't really sure at first how Hulk was going to fit into a Spider-Man movie like this, but surprisingly, I liked his role. Bruce has gone through his own struggles with controlling his powers, so his connection with Peter actually makes sense. Peter is also going through changes and trying to understand what's happening with him. So there's this kind of understanding between these two characters. So we finally get more of Scorpion. If you remember him from Spider-Man Homecoming, it's been a long time since we first saw the character, so it was actually nice to see them bring him back properly. And then we have Sadie Singh's character as Jean Grey. This is best because she is my favorite actress. I was really curious about her character before watching the movie, and I think her introduction is definitely one of the interesting parts. She's powerful, but at the same time, she's dealing with her own emotions, struggles. So she doesn't just come into the movies as some perfect superhero who knows exactly what she's doing. And I feel like her character and Peter actually have something in common. They both are dealing with the things that they don't fully know how to control, and both of them are kind of carrying a lot of emotions. And I like the emotional connection they developed in this movie. I liked this connection. When it comes to the overall action, I think movie has some really funny sequences too. But what I liked is that movie is not only action, and actions. There's actually a story happening with Peter. For me, the emotional side was properly just as interesting as the fight scenes. Because Peter has already lost Aunt May, everybody has forgotten who he is. MJ and Ned are living their own lives, and he is basically trying to figure out what his life looks like now. And I think that's what gives the movie a little more depth. It's not about the Spider-Man fighting with the next villain this time. It's also about Peter trying to move forward when almost everything from his old life is gone. Now, was the movie perfect? No. There's lot of more characters in this movie. You have Peter, MJ, Ned, Punisher, Hulk, Scorpion, Jean Grey, and other things happening at the same time. So there were definitely some moments where I felt, okay, slow down a little bit. Some characters could have more screen time, I think, and a few parts of story felt slightly rushed to me, but overall, I was still entertained. And I actually like that they didn't try to make another No Way Home. That movie was such a huge event with all different Spider-Mans and the multiverse. This one feels more like Peter Parker's own story again. It's smaller, more personal, more New York faced, and definitely more emotional. And personally, I think Tom Holland is getting better at playing Peter Parker because now we are seeing a very different side of him. He's not a teenager who has Tony Stark helping him anymore. He's not surrounded by Avengers. He doesn't even have his close friends supporting him. He really became a Spider-Man on his own. So overall, I enjoyed Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I like the New York setting, visuals, action, more mature Peter Parker, new character, especially emotional side of the story. The web swinging scenes looks great, the action feels energetic, and there are definitely some moments that are much better experienced on a big screen theater. There are some pacing issues, and I think a few characters deserved more time, but I still think Spider-Man and Marvel fans are going to enjoy this movie, and personally, I recommend this movie 7 out of 10. But now I want to know what you guys think. Thank you so much, and this is my rating of the Spider-Man movie. Do watch this movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day, 7 out of 10.